Well, guys, I say we go ahead and just get started and let Brian and Jim give us a quick report. And like I said, it won't be official, but we'll go ahead and get a little update since we haven't met in about a year due to COVID. So um, since we're not really calling it to order, I think we'll just do, Brian, do you want to go first and then Jim? And then we don't even need motions or adjournment or anything like that because it's not formal, but go ahead and do it. And Mark, are you still going to record?
Yes, it'll be recorded. We'll decide what we're going to do with that.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
I like your backdrop, Brian.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought I'd put the driving range up since it had an incredible season. So I guess I'll go ahead and start out. I sent out an attached report just with the numbers for 2020 versus 2019 earlier in the day. I hope everyone had a chance to take a look at it. If there's any questions right on those numbers, please let me know. But I mean, I think most everyone knows now that 2020 for golf in general was a very good season. We were one of the only things or few things that you could do throughout COVID and the pandemic. So the numbers definitely show that throughout the season. Go to the range number first. To do 84,000 in the range with the capacity that we have is just incredible. And you know, the season was so good because we had two things that we really can't control, and that is obviously number one, the weather was just perfect. It was so nice the entire season. I don't remember if we had maybe 1 or 0 rainouts for the entire season, which is key. And of course, two, time. We can't control how much time people have, and obviously they had a whole bunch of extra time on their hands this year. And I was seeing people I haven't seen in 10 to 15 years consistently. So moving forward for next year, you know, those two things, we can't control them. We'll kind of see where things go. I know Jim and I will be ready. Of course, we'll be ready. The staff and everything will be ready to move forward next year. Just to do these numbers and get through this season with all the guidelines we had to do and restrictions and cart rules, it was just crazy, as everyone knows. So the numbers definitely reflect how hard we had to work just to get through the season, and more than likely next season too. Well, this season, 2021. So we'll kind of see where that goes. The only thing that really is different that stands out is the food and beverage, which is the food and beer number there. Don't know how many people are even aware that the restaurant never even opened up until it was taken over by Burntwood, and that was, I think, the first week of September. So I ran the concessions and did all the hiring, all that stuff. So that's why that number is there compared to 2019, which there was nothing there for that number. So just to kind of explain that a little bit, why that number's there versus not there last year. And of course, won't be there moving forward as well. So if you guys take a look at those and have any questions throughout this, just let me know. I'll be happy to help out and answer any questions if I can.
I don't know if we have to raise our hand or what, Brian. I know you'd mentioned that 32,000 rounds, almost really 33. Is that, because you've been there more than a day or two, is that one of the biggest years in terms of rounds or not?
Yeah, in the last decade or so, Tom, it sure has. With, you know, late 90s, early 2000s, golf was obviously at its peak. So those numbers were being done way back then, probably, you know, 20 years ago. But no, we haven't seen something like that in quite some time.
Interesting. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You guys did a really, really great job. I was one of those people that was up there a lot as well, but.
Thank you, Joanne. Yeah, we saw you a lot more, which is always nice.
Are we, well, I'm going to ask a question and you can decline it. I know that this is golf, not the total complex, so to speak. Just your gut perception now that the restaurant is there, up and running, had its own footprint. Do you see that only enhancing your activity, Brian, in terms of outings, et cetera, et cetera?
I think, yeah, having them partner with them as far as from the food and beverage side, they've obviously got a great reputation for quite some time. As far as the daily stuff goes, I will say we've met with those guys that prior to them taking over, and it's really going to affect our outings and stuff moving forward. From a business side for them, they obviously don't want to shut down the restaurant and banquet center for, you know, a golf outing versus
right.
flipping that restaurant how many times they can. And of course, weddings and big parties. So we'll have to have that little adjustment with them and work with them throughout next season. Being this will be our first season, technically, in my opinion, with them, because they came on so late in the season.
Sure.
They didn't see much golf.
It wasn't normal. But I guess what I think I hear, and I'm not trying to put words in anybody's mouth, but I think you still see it as a positive experience or anticipate a positive experience. It's a healthy relationship as it stands right now, and only to get better is your perception.
Yes, I agree with that.
No politics intended.
Not yet.
Okay, great. Thank you. I think it's time for Here's Jim.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Nice to see everyone. Hope all of you are doing well. Since we haven't met in a while, I'd like to give a little recap going back to fall of 2020, just on some of the things that we did. Aerification on the golf course on greens, tees, and fairways were completed last fall, back in September. Everything healed in great before the winter months. The beds were all cleaned out, and all the grass plants were cut down, including the ones up at the clubhouse. Leaves were all blown off and mulched throughout the golf course to keep everything clean. The irrigation system was winterized and all the lines blown out to prevent from freezing, including the outside restrooms. That's about a 2 or 3 day adventure to get that all done. All of the golf course accessories were brought in for maintenance, such as the tee markers, flag sticks, trash cans, and the benches. The driving range tee was shut down and seeded in order to get ready for the spring. We shut the grass driving range tee down in November. Currently, the mats are being used until we open the grass back up in the spring. And that's usually sometime, depending on the weather, around May. But as Brian mentioned, the driving range is open for those diehards that do want to go out right now and hit, but it would be mats only until springtime. The golf course was open through Thanksgiving weekend and closed shortly after for the season due to weather. Since that time frame, we have begun our winter maintenance programs in order to prepare for the upcoming season. These items include removal of dead trees. As you guys notice, when you play the golf course or walk it, we have a lot of ash trees that are in poor or dead condition. And this allows us this time of the year to get out and remove those trees as much as we can. We also do drainage work and inspection of all the inlets. This time of the year, leaves, sticks, and debris sometimes get covered up over those drains, and we want to make sure that the golf course drains properly this time of the year. Course cleanup is ongoing. As Tom mentioned earlier about picking up sticks, just a couple weeks ago, we had that heavy snow even in the community where all the branches were very weighted down from snow and ice. We had a lot of limbs come down on the golf course. Fortunately for us, not a lot of trees, which was good, just a lot of limbs. So with the mild winter that we've been having, we've been able to get out and pick a lot of those branches up and anything that we had from those events. Also, we are painting and maintaining the golf course accessories. And when I say that, that's, once again, tee markers, benches, trash cans, all those items get sanded down and repainted. And then they're taken out onto the golf course in the spring. And then our main focus, besides the outdoor maintenance end for this time of the year, is the tear down and maintenance of all the equipment with reel grinding and sharpening. And that takes a lot of time. That's all done in-house with our mechanic. So we focus on that. We go through every piece of equipment, take it down, replace anything that needs it, any parts that are available, paint it, and get it ready for the upcoming season. And lastly, I hope to have the seasonal job ad up on the website for our seasonal staff. It's hard to believe in a few weeks. It's February. So, we'll start getting the 2021 seasonal staff in order in the next couple of weeks. And that's all I have for right now. If there's any questions.
No.
Okay. Well, hearing none, Shannon asked me to remind everyone that the next meeting is March 16th at 6:30, and there'll be Zoom again. So I'll plan for that.
Okay.
Right. Well, thank you, everyone. It's good to see everybody.
Thanks all. Great
Good night,
seeing you.
everybody.
Good
Hey.
night.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
See ya.
Take
Take
care.
care.
Good night all.
Bye-bye.